Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are across the world. My name is Madame Merola, and I'm your host on Live a Phenomenal Life Show with Madame Merola that airs every Monday, mostly at 12 noon GMT plus one time, but sometimes at different times, depending on who the guest is. And my guest is all the way from the United States, and he's so magnanimous to be here at the regular time. So woohoo! Thank you so much, Roger Brooks. He is also the host of American Real TV and the author of Build Your Best You, which we're going to be talking about today. And it's also the topic of today. So, how are you all doing? It is season 4, episode 19 on the 8th of February 2021. I'm so excited to be here. I love, 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 love showing up every Monday to do this show. It gives me so much joy that whatever we do and share with others has a way of inspiring, empowering, and transforming your life one show at a time. So if you're watching from Facebook, feel free to start a watch party and share this link with other people because we're ready to rumble. And if you're on YouTube as well, please do know that you can comment live and we can see it right here in the studio. And I'll be able to show it to my guest so that he can answer any of your questions and also respond to your comments. So are we ready, guys? So if you're here, let me know, say hi, and also let my guests know where you're coming from because Roger is already here and we are ready to help you build the best you. Because at the end of the day, everything we do in life must start from within. If you don't build your life the way you want it, then it is your fault. Okay. So we do not advocate for blame sharing here. Everything in life is based on us taking responsibility for it. Okay. So I hope you guys are ready because I'm ready. I'm excited. Woohoo. And I can see my guest smiling as well in the backstage. So it's exciting to be here. So thank you guys for joining. And please put your comments and I will be able to see it and show it to my guests. So let me tell you a little bit more about my guest. So hi, Babi Dele. How are you? I know where you're from. But in case Roger doesn't know, you are live from Ibadan in Nigeria. So that's another state, another territory from where I am. But this is one of our regular viewers of the show. So thank you for joining us. Wow. It's awesome to have you guys say hello, hello, hello to Taye Temi talk about Odunsanwo all the way from Abuja, Nigeria. It's good to have you here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So you guys can start to share the video, let people know that we are ready, and I will get the show started in exactly 20 seconds by reading out the bio of my guest today. So while you guys are waiting for that, let me show you something about the guest for today. So 1 second. Oh, I'm actually there already. Okay, so that's the picture of Roger, in case you didn't know. And I'm going to read his bio for you. Okay, so welcome, Adewale. Thank you for joining us. It's great to have you here. We are just about to start the show, and I'm introducing my guest, Roger Brooks, all the way from the United States, where it's actually very snowy. When I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, Roger, I can't live where you do because I need the sun. And it was crazy. It was like so much snow. And I'm like, I hope you're staying warm and safe. So Roger L. Brooks is the founder and host of American Real TV, a weekly talk show featuring some of the most fascinating people from around the world. He's also the founder of the Best-Selling Academy, where he helps busy people write, publish and market their first book. Roger is a two-time selling author and lives in upstate New York with his wife, Sabrina, and their two children. So, Roger's actually written a book called Build Your Best Life. And that's how I got to connect with him because I actually took excerpts from that book based on the challenge that he's been running for 44 days. And I shared it with my community, and it was life transforming. So I reached out to him and asked him if he could join me on my show to talk about it. And he was so gracious and so nice and said, absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, the reason that we're here today is because of this amazing, amazing man that has chosen to be here to share out of his wealth of knowledge. So please give a virtual welcome to Roger Brooks. Woohoo!
Thank,
Welcome.
thank you.
Thank you for being here. Good morning to you because I know it's 6:07 for you right now. So,
A little after 6 a.m., but I'm an early riser,
yes,
so I don't mind.
thank God you are because it's after 12 for me now. So I prefer this time. Than having to get up early. So thank you so much for being here with us. This is your first time on Live a Phenomenal Life show, and we're thrilled to have you. So once again, welcome.
Thank you. It's my honor.
Thank you. So, before we get started talking about the topic of today, which is building the best you, we're going to share affirmations, which is our ritual here on Live a Phenomenal Life show. So, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, are you guys ready for the affirmations of the day? You know how we do it, they are randomly selected, and I read them out for you guys. And as I say them, I want you to actually think about it and repeat it to yourself so that you can start to imbibe the emotions and feel it, because it's not just saying it, you have to believe it for it to work for you. Okay, so I'm randomly selecting the five for today, and as I share them, please remember to say yes to them so that they can be activated in your life too. Alrighty, so the five cards have been selected. So the first one, woo, I love it. It says, I am fearless. Daily I go on. Daily, I stay encouraged. Daily, I stay determined to be all I can be. Did you get that, Roger?
I love it.
Woo!
Wow.
Awesome. Oh my God. The next one is my favorite one. I say this every single time, and I share this one with everybody that I get to meet in life. I am equal to all, inferior to none. I am living my life as my authentic self, and I dazzle in my originality. Woohoo! That's why it's my favorite. It really resonates with me because I am equal to all and I'm inferior to none. It boosts my confidence, allows me to know that, yes, I am a masterpiece created in God's true DNA, and therefore I am always, always valuable. So I love that particular one. Do you like that one, Roger?
Love it. I love all of these.
Great. The next one says, I receive all the help I require to achieve my life's vision and goals. I attract destiny helpers and mentors to help me on my life's journey. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We can never be the best of ourselves without other people helping us on our journey of life. And sometimes we always think that we can do it alone, but no. If you want to be the best version of yourself, you can't do it alone. You need to be humble enough to actually get help from other people. And I know that resonates with you, Roger, because you talk about that.
It,
Okay, so the fourth card says, I am a beautiful soul and I shine my light everywhere I go. Nothing can dim the light that shines from within me. I allow my soul to sparkle. Woo!
you,
Yes, yes, yes to that. And the final one says, daily I am determined to win. Daily, I take the necessary steps to accomplish my goals. I get closer and closer to fulfilling all my dreams daily. So if you guys like that, send me some emojis on the screen because those were powerful. Woo! Lovely. I enjoyed that. Thank you. Thank by me. So if you guys want a copy, send me a DM and you can get some of them. They are about 52 in total, and you can read them to yourself. So that's about one for every week of your life so that you stay positive minded. So Roger, it's your turn to share your affirmations with us.
Yes, there's one. There's one that I love from Alan Watts, and um, I've been doing affirmations now for about 10 years.
Wow.
And many of them started just like the ones that you're saying, which I think are wonderful because we need that positivity and that optimism every single day.
That's right.
Us. But what I found is that over time, what happens is these affirmations become part of who we are. So even though we say them so much that our thoughts, our subconscious mind, our creative unconscious, they're embedded in there. So what I've tried to do
That's
now,
right.
the next stage of affirmations, and sometimes they're very simple, and I'm going to give you a couple of them. So the first one
Go
is
ahead, please.
each day is a new beginning. Each day is a new beginning. Now, that's very, very simple, right? But to me, that's the next level of affirmation, in that all the affirmations, like the 5 that you just said now, and the many others that I've said over the years, are all within me already. Now I just need
That's
to
right.
do simple ones like this. Each day is a new beginning, because that helps me know that I could reset every day. And anything that happened
right.
yesterday or in the past is just that. It's in the past. We don't need to
That's right.
anymore. We don't need to think about it. So I want to start with that one. The next one is from Alan Watts. And I love this because it really brings me to the essence of life itself. And I'm going to read it to you. And it says, what we are basically, deep, deep down, far, far in, is simply the fabric and structure of existence itself. So, what are we? We're all part of each other. All of life is part of each other. And if we believe that, and if we say it and we truly believe it, then it's hard to get mad at somebody, right? It's hard. Why would you want to gossip if you're gossiping about a person that in reality is you? Everyone's a reflection of
Yes.
it. Life is a mirror.
That's true.
You are a reflection of me. I am a reflection
Okay.
of you. You live in Nigeria. I live in New York. It's okay. We're part of the same family. We're part of
That's
one
true.
community. So the challenge with today's world, because there's so much chaos, is that people are not breaking things down to the most simplest form of life, that we are part of each other. Why
Very
would we
true.
want to fight about the color of our skin? Why? Or about our religion? Who cares? If someone's Muslim and someone's Catholic and someone's Jewish, wonderful. If you were
Exactly.
raised in Nigeria and I was raised in the United States, awesome. Let's learn from each other. What do you cook that I don't cook that you could teach me? I have friends in India and this guy named Harsh, and we'll FaceTime each other and we'll share our recipes. What is that?
That's
How to
true.
make it? So I don't mean to go off on a tangent here, but this is really important, folks, because if you don't believe the affirmations that you're saying, then it's just lip service. It's just words. You really, as you said, you really have to
That's right.
truly believe it for it to become part of who you are.
I agree. Thank you so much. And you shared 2 very powerful ones for us. And I believe that every day, if we can just wake up and be grateful for the fact that we have another chance to be alive, we can say to ourselves that, yes, each day is a new beginning. Let the past be in the past, and then we can give the best of ourselves, because it's all about building the best you in the moment, right? So
Right.
wonderful. So I would love for you to share your backstory. how did you get to this point whereby you actually wrote this powerful book? You are also the
I think we may have you may have gone on pause, but what I heard you say is, how did I get to this point where, my backstory? And look, I'm born and raised here in New York, and
Could you hear me?
I can now. I can now. Yes, I think you were asking me about my backstory. Is that correct? So my backstory is this: I'm just an average person, right? I was fortunate enough to be raised in a wonderful household with a wonderful family, and it took me a while really to come into my own, to really realize who I was as a person, and not to be overshadowed by the labels of who we are. And yeah, I think you're back now. Maybe not. Okay, that's okay. So I'll keep going, Madame. Yeah, and I moved away when I was young. I moved all the way across the country to Portland, Oregon, to go to school, and that was great because I was able to really do things on my own and learn and appreciate where I came from. After a little bit of time, I was fortunate to meet my wife, who was actually from the area that we grew up, but I was living 3,000 miles away. And we fell in love. She moved out to Portland. We got married, and then a few short years later, we moved back. And from that point on, I was in my mid 20s. I always worked hard. I worked hard because I wanted to earn a good living. And, but every day that I woke up, I wanted to give my best. I knew that I wanted to do that. So as time went on, I began to think about what are the things that I really enjoy and I really want to do. So I would continue to work. And one of the things that came up is that I love to write. I love to write. So I started writing, and I didn't have any formal training per se, but I just started doing it consistently. And the more I wrote, the more I enjoyed it. And at some point I said, I want to write, I want to write and get a book published. So I did that. So my first book I did back in 2010. And are you back with us, Madame? Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I lost you, but I can hear you now. But it's a bit weird. So please explain the back there. I wanted to talk about the information about the book. You.
I'm sorry, Madame. It's really shaky. I cannot hear you clearly. I don't know if you could hear me. I was just talking about my backstory and how I got to writing.
Okay. Sorry, it's still really bad. I'm just going to put the question on the screen for you.
Yeah, so I'll just continue because I still can't hear you. But so I wrote my first book back in 2005, 2006. I actually wrote two books back to back. And then I wrote my second book in 2010. And I just knew that it was something I wanted to do. So I continued to write. And like any habit, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And then last year, I decided, okay, I want my first book was more of a coffee table style book. My second was a business book about customer loyalty. And then my third book, which came out in 2019, was something that I wanted to write about in more of a self-help book or a personal growth and development book. And that book is called The Power of Being Rich. I have a copy of it right here to show you. So The Power of Being Rich. I wrote that one in 2019. And then as COVID happened and I had a lot more time on my hands, I wanted to write a book that was really focused on all the learnings that I received over my lifetime. And this is based on people that I was influenced by, people like Earl Nightingale and Dale Carnegie, as well as Napoleon Hill. You know, some of these wonderful leaders that came a century ago, even sometimes, and put out some of the best books on personal development in the world. So I took all that and I wanted to do something that was simple, because I'm a pretty simple person, and I like to do things in small chunks. So what I did with this book is I put together a 44-day guide to help people transform. And it's just my own formula. So the very first principle in this book, which I think is the most important principle of all, is called awareness.
That's right. Self-awareness.
Yes, if we're not aware of our surroundings, if we're not aware of ourselves, if we're not aware or paying attention to people that we're talking to, then we're going to get lost. You know, we're just going to be part of the pack and we're going to be a follower instead of a leader. So awareness, I believe, is the most important trait that we can have. We have to respect one another when they're talking. We have to respect and honor our thoughts. And if we're not, like I said, if we're not aware, then we're not able to do much of anything. So it all starts with awareness. And then it goes on from there. So every day there's a different principle and an action to take. The second one, just to give you another example, is how you show up. How are you going to show up in the world today? Are you going to show up miserable? Are you going to show up happy? Are you going to show up to help people? Are you going to show up to be a hindrance? How are you going to show up? It's up to you every single day. That is your choice. That is your free will, how you show up. And again, as time goes on, my purpose, my passion is to show up as someone that could be of help or service to another in some way, because that's really why we're here, I believe, on this earth, is to help others.
Yes, thank you so much. And I remember for day 21, you shared about purpose, whereby you said that until you know what your purpose is, it's difficult for you to be grounded and rooted in what you're supposed to be doing on earth. So can you share a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So, you know, I talk about what gets you up out of bed in the morning, right? Excites you. If you don't have that excitement, that when your eyes open and you want to jump out of bed, then something might be a little off. And it's not bad.
That's true.
Many people, and believe me, there's days where it's hard for me as well. So, but if you don't know your purpose, you have to go deeper. You have to look within, and you have to figure out, why am I here? What is the meaning of my purpose in life? Because your purpose is different than my purpose. And if you do have a hard time with it, one of the things I talk about in the book is to just look toward your passions. What are you passionate about? What gets you excited? And if you do that and you do this exercise, and maybe over days or weeks, it may just click where you say, okay, I'm getting closer to my purpose. And the other thing is that you may never 100% know this is my purpose. Absolutely. And that's okay. As long as you're working toward it and you're energized, then I think that in it of itself is the reason to keep going and to keep looking within yourself to find that purpose.
When you were talking about looking towards your passion and stuff, I was intrigued when you mentioned the part forgiveness plays in us being able to build our best self, because some people are stuck in the mistakes they've made in the past by either wasting time doing something else that they were not supposed to be doing, getting involved in a relationship that didn't work out. So can you talk to us a bit more about how important forgiveness is for us to be able to build the best version of ourselves?
Yes, forgiveness is crucial. If we can't forgive, then we can't get out of our own way. We can't get out of our own heads, right? So we talked about earlier having that awareness and not looking in the past. So if you're not forgiving someone, you're living in the past because you're stuck on that situation, whatever happened that upset you, that you're not able to forgive. So that in and of itself, you're not aware and you're living in the past. So it can be that simple, right? So just stop worrying, thinking, dwelling on the past. Move forward and don't be afraid to forgive. And if it went the other way and someone didn't forgive you, or then just forgive them without even talking to them. Forgive them in the silence of your heart, and it's over. People get stuck on, I'm upset, that person did this to me. Yes, let's not be petty. Let's rise above the things that upset us, because what happens is, what I found is that your stress level comes down, everything comes down, things are calm. You could think more clearly when you're able to forgive. So I'm so glad you mentioned that, because as you know, there's 44 principles in here, and each of them are important in their own way. But forgiveness is certainly a key principle in order to build the best you, to become the best version of yourself. And it's something that we work on every single day.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. And I think that will also lead me to the next one, where you talked about positive attitude, because many people are going through depression. Many people are they're finding it difficult to motivate or inspire themselves to keep going forward and investing in themselves and stuff. So what are some of the tips that you can share with us to maintain a positive attitude regardless of whatever we're facing in our circumstances?
Sure. And again, a lot of these are connected, right? So, and that's how I look at them. And whatever one you say, I'm connecting the dots. So the first thing you said when you said positive attitude, the first thing I thought of was principle number 2, which is how you show up, right? So if you're not showing up the right way, then how could you possibly have a positive attitude? So you have to show up the right way. Again, you have to, awareness is always there. You have to be aware that you're not showing up the right way, that you don't have a positive attitude. And it's sometimes it's easier said than done, right? So how do you show up the right way? How do you show up with a positive attitude? And to me, it comes down to one thing, and it's being the light. If you're the light every single day, every single moment, even in the worst of moments, you still have to be the light. And if you are the light, then you're the one who's going to carry through that positive attitude, that optimism. Again, so let's not be selfish. Let's do this not only for us, but for those around us that we affect, because our energy affects everything. The way we show up, the attitudes that we have, that affects everything around us, whether you realize it or not. So because you have a negative attitude, that may affect something else that's happening during the day, and then it's a ripple effect. And oh my God, I'm having such a bad day. We hear this a lot. I'm having just a horrible day. Well, the first thing, don't ever say that. Don't ever say you're having a horrible day, because you know what? It's probably going to get worse, right?
Yeah.
Attitude is everything. Okay, something just happened that wasn't great, but you know what? I'm going to rise above it. I'm going to be the light. it's going to be a great day. There's a lot of time left in this day, so let's make it a great day.
Mm,
So really, it's all about mindset. It's all about how we position ourselves and how we approach things. And look, it's a constant learning process. There's no, like, you don't have to study this kind of stuff to say. It's good to be aware, but you don't have to say, okay, if this happens, then I'm going to do that. But if that happens, I'm going to just be yourself and come into the day
mm.
with a positive attitude, so you don't have to think too hard.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And it really makes so much sense to me personally because I always have this mindset of being the light and being very positive about everything that I'm going through. And even seeing the positive out of something really bad or hurtful that has happened to me, because I always say that our perception affects the way we actually think or remember even any situation in life. And that brings me to another point that you shared, which was about being non judgmental and
Yeah,
also being empathetic. So I want you to discuss those two in line with each
sure,
other.
sure. Not again. You say these, and it's because sometimes I forget all the ones that are in there. But non-judgment. That's Deepak Chopra. I listened to him a lot in my past years. That was the one thing that resonated with me with Deepak. Non-judgment is so crucial, and it's so hard not to do, but you have to attempt it and
Mm-hmm.
you have to live it. So if you're judging someone, catch yourself and stop. If someone's gossiping about another, do not get involved with that. And don't be afraid to be vocal about it and say, I'm sorry. And let people know, I want to be judgmental. I want to be non-judgmental. I don't want to judge. If you say that, you'll be surprised the next time that person is going to be very careful about gossiping. So what happens is this becomes infectious. And Madame, if you and I were in a phone conversation and I started talking about someone and you told me that, to me, now I see you as a leader. Wow,
Mm,
she doesn't judge. She doesn't gossip. I want to be like that. That's a great trait, right? So it's not only good for yourself, it's good for others. As we said earlier, being the light um, leads into empathy. Empathy, and I think many people, including myself early on, get confused between sympathy and empathy. You may hear this a lot.
that's right.
It is
Mm-hmm.
okay to
Mm-hmm.
sympathize with people, right? It's okay. If someone's going through something terrible, it is fine to sympathize and
Yeah.
maybe offer a helping hand in that moment. Empathy is more of your existence. Empathy is more
That's
of who
true.
you are as a person. And again, it goes back to awareness. That's why awareness is so important. If you cannot empathize with another human being, then something is wrong because you don't know what that person is going through. And your empathy may give them words of encouragement so that they may be able to turn their day around. So be
Yeah.
empathetic and be aware that you may need to be empathetic all the time, as crazy as that sounds, all the time, because there's so many things that happen in our day. And if we have that empathetic light shining, if it's lit,
Yeah.
candles lit,
Mm-hmm.
about lighting a candle, that's your empathy candle, and that stays lit, then wherever you go, that's with you. And you're conscious of that, right? So do some of these little tips that to help you remember that we as a people need to be empathetic. Again, going back to my earlier comments, like right now the world's in chaos. Be a little bit more empathetic. If you're empathetic and I'm empathetic and the people listening are empathetic, then that's going to change the energy of everyone we come into contact with. So very important to me to bring empathy into my life and to help let other people feel that and see that for
Yeah.
themselves.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, as you're speaking to me, I'm just getting this sense of relief, and I just feel refreshed in my spirit, because it's like we need to consciously be empathetic. We need to be empathetic every single day, and we need fresh reservoir of it all the time, because we can't get tired of being empathetic. We can't get tired of being non-judgmental. And sometimes you wonder, right, how some people are able to have this mindset and state of being of abundance, and some have the state of being of, oh, there's never enough, scarcity and stuff. And I want to know whether it's also rooted to our connection to the higher power, because sometimes you might want to fret and worry about the fact that you have the lack of something, but then my faith allows me to remember that I have a God that can supply all my needs according to his riches and glory. So I want you to share something about the link between abundance and the way it can be connected to our higher power source.
Sure. No, I love this. First of all, everyone may have a little different definition of abundance. To me, abundance is living abundance, but it's not necessarily, it can be monetary. I mean, that's okay too. But abundance is, to me, love, right? So if you wake up and you have abundance in your heart and in your mind and in your soul, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if I have money per se, although that helps, of course. I mean, let's not fool ourselves. We need money. Money's energy. Money's nothing more than energy, but we need money to be able to do the things we do. But we could
That's
create
right.
we could create that money, that currency, by changing our mindset. That's what's so
Very
crazy.
true.
That's what's so amazing, is that just by shifting our mindset to an abundant mindset, which again, to me, is all about love. If you have love in your heart and you're not trying to do this to get that or con that person to get that, if it's all about love, then you're abundant. That's all that matters. Everything you need is right here. It's within us. So that allows you to tap into the higher source, what I like to call the creative unconscious, our higher self, which again is God. We're all connected. We're life itself is energy, and we are connected to God. God is part of us. We are part of God. Like it or not, how you want to say it, whatever religion you are, it doesn't matter. There's one higher power. There's not a guy with a beard or whatever, or a woman with, God is energy. God is a source. God is the universe, the stars, every form of life that we have here and beyond. So abundance is knowing and understanding that if you realize and believe that we are part of God, we're a little piece. If there's the ocean and God is the ocean, and we're all little drops in that ocean, then we're all part of life. So that's where the abundance for me comes in. That's how we're able to tap into our higher self and our creative unconscious. One thing I just want to mention about the creative unconscious is that, and you alluded to this earlier, that we have the power within us to do anything we want. So we look at these wonderful people that, say Gandhi, or, Elon Musk, or, go back to the Middle Ages, St. Francis of Assisi, whoever it is, they've made massive impact on the world. How did they do that? How? How did they do that? Because they believed in their mind, in their cause. So whatever that cause was, and it could go the other way too. It could be bad. If you think about someone like Hitler or, Stalin, or these guys, they could do bad stuff because they really believed that they wanted that control. So it could, life is a if you draw a straight line, good and bad on either side, we're going to fall somewhere in between, right? Where do you want to
Yeah,
go? Go to that higher end or that lower end? But we could accomplish whatever we want if we tap into our creative unconscious that will help us get there. There's another part of us, another dimension that's outside of our bodies, I believe, that we could tap into for inspiration, for creativity, for ideas to be able to, like, you put this show together, right? So how did you put this show together? You had an idea, you had a concept, you wanted to make
that's
a,
right.
and you did it, you took action. So it's one thing to think about it, it's one thing to have that connection with the higher power, but it's another thing to take that next leap of faith, which many people are fearful of, and that is putting
Hmm.
things into action. Don't be afraid to put things into action. Who cares if you fail? Who cares if it, because that's going to help you to get to the next place where you need to go, which is going to be even better than the first.
Very
So,
true.
as you could tell, I get passionate about
I
this
love
stuff.
it.
There's so much there.
I know. I love it. I love the fact that you were able to really dig deep and share with us, from our own, like, we need to be aware and conscious of the fact that we have the power to do all these things. And if we are not in that state of abundance, which you say is love, we will keep on doing things that we're not proud of. And that's why, and I love the fact that you say you have to take action. It's not just about having the ideas or the creativity. You must follow through with the action. And that's why I wanted you to share a bit more about the honest intentions. Because everybody say, oh, I intend to do this, I intend to do that. And many times people are not really mindful of the reality of the situation and how they can get from point A to point Z. So can you share a bit more about that?
Yes, absolutely. And talked a little bit about this already, but we'll go deeper here. So when you intend to do something, you
Hmm.
have a choice. Okay, we all make choices, and they may not
That's
all
right.
be the right choices. But when whatever action you're taking, whatever thought that you have, whatever whatever you're doing, it comes down to a choice.
That's
So
true.
is that choice that you make, is it going to be honest, or is it going to be less than honest? Right? Again, it's on that pendulum. Where is your decision coming from? And then where is your intention going? So if you go into your decision with dishonesty or something less than honesty, then it's probably not going to work out as well. Maybe you won't see it today or tomorrow, but it may nip you a week from now or a month from now or a year from now. So just remember, and again, I am not a perfect being. I want everyone to know that I am far from perfect, and I constantly, I'm learning myself. But just know that whatever decisions you make, each and every day, we make hundreds of them, thousands a day,
Hmm.
that if they are not honest, it could snowball. Okay. So what
That's
happens,
right.
we could go down a wrong path. And there's been a few times in my life where I had to, you know, catch myself and get on that right path. If we go into our decisions with honesty, even if it hurts someone because it is honest, then that's the way it
Yeah.
should be. Whatever decision you make, it should be honest. And then your intention of whatever that is will feel so much better, will be better because you went into it with honesty. Does that make sense?
Oh, it does. It for me, the what came to me was like connecting with your why. Why are you doing what you do? Why are you showing up? Why are you in this particular relationship? Why are you trying to serve people? Is it because you're trying to gain fame or stuff like that? So your honest intentions kind of guide as like your conscience, right? To be able to say that, I'm doing this for the right reasons. So that can also help you to keep pushing through.
Yes, you are so right. You are so right. And, I think to that point, many people are in relationships for the wrong reasons, right? Think about it.
Yeah.
There's
Hmm.
a lot of people we know that are either they feel stuck in a relationship or they don't know how to get out of a relationship. Look, we have one life. We are
One.
here for a very short time. Every single day, you should
Hmm.
love your life. Love the people who you're with. Embrace that. If you don't, it's not a bad thing. And I'm not telling people to do anything crazy here today. Just think about it. Like, really, really think about it. How do you want to live your life? Because in the end, we're here for ourselves. Yes, we're here for our spouses and our children and our friends and all that. But at the end of the day, when our life's done and we take that last breath, do we want to say, I did everything in my power to live the life I wanted to live? Or do we sit back and regret,
Hmm.
gosh, I wish I had the courage to make some different decisions that would have changed my outcome? I mean, really, you know, when you think about it, life goes by so fast. We don't know if we have tomorrow. We don't. We have to.
Yeah.
We have this moment. I could leave here, drive, and that could be my last moment. But I could tell you this: I'm working hard every single day, and I'm trying to help other people live every single day to our highest potential.
Hmm.
Because when we do take our last breath, I want to be able to smile and say, whether I'm, you know, 55 or 85, you know, whatever it is, that I could smile and say, I did it. I gave it my all.
That's true. Yeah, that's so true. It just reminds me of that song. I did it my way. You know, you be like, look, I showed up. I gave it the very best I could. And I'm
Frank
pleased
Sinatra.
with myself. Yes, I'm
You know,
pleased with myself. I loved as hard as I could. I
yeah,
played as hard as I could. You know, I gave it all. I gave it up. I'm
do
dying
that.
empty because
Right.
I'm done it my way.
That's right. I'm
I
so glad.
love it. I love it. And I read when I read the part about gratitude, right? For me, I was like, in all things, we just have to be grateful because if we're not, we kind of like attract so much more misfortune and stuff into our life. That gratitude is also energy, right? It brings about more good things into our life. So I want you to share a little bit about why gratitude is a very good thing to have while we're building our best lives.
Yeah. And we talked early on about affirmations. Gratitude is one of those. So for me, what I try to do is when I go to bed at night or when I wake up in the morning, just spend a few minutes thinking about the day or the day to come and everything
Mhm.
that we're grateful for, right? So that's the first thing. And you may think again about your family, about your career, about all these things, which are it's wonderful, you know, and it's good to be grateful for that. Even if you're in a tough spot, be grateful. Find something to be grateful for. I'm grateful for my I'm grateful
Yes.
for life, you know, whatever it may be. But then as you build these traits of gratitude, again, speak them during your day. So if you're grateful for someone, don't just think it, tell them. And again, we have a
Yes.
hard time doing this sometimes. Tell people, Madame, I'm so grateful that you had me on your show today. And I truly mean it. I am so grateful. Don't be afraid to say things like that. You'll
Mm.
be amazed. I mean, you'll catch people off guard, like, really. So, and that in itself, again, that becomes infectious. When you do it, now they may do it to someone else, right? So that's what it means when we want to become the light. Then the next thing with gratitude, the next level is to live in a state of gratitude at all times. Like we talked about empathy earlier. So
Yeah.
now, you know, to me, it's almost like a little game, right? Like we have all these traits, and gratitude is another one of those traits that I try to keep with me at all times. I'm always try to be grateful, even if something, because when something bad does happen, you're going to react differently. If you know the heat of the moment, if you're still grateful in your heart, you'll be calm and be able to make a decision. So
Yeah.
it will help you in more ways than one to be grateful in mind and in body and spirit.
Don't think gratitude, speak it, share it with the people. That's something that a lot of us don't do. You know, we get into the journaling, we're writing it down and stuff and saying, oh, I'm grateful for this person that showed up for me when I needed them. I'm grateful for my spouse. But then to actually say to the person's face, it's a lot more difficult, right? And we don't make it a part of our life to do
Yes,
it constantly.
it,
So I love, love, love that. And I'm going to take that on board to start
yes.
to literally share more, share it more now.
One thing I want to just add, if I may, Madame, is
Go
that
ahead, please.
when you start to do things like this, we talk about maturity.
Mm-hmm.
It's mature to express your gratitude. It's
Wow.
immature not to. So again, maturity is
Wow.
on a plane, right? Where on this plane, sorry, I'm trying to get, where on this plane are you? Are you at the far end of maturity or the low end of maturity? So maturity is being responsible and being able to share the thoughts that are on your mind. It's immature not to do that because you're holding back. You're doing a disservice to yourself and the other people and the world. You know, people say, well, how can I change the world? That's such a big task. How am I going to change the world? You are going to change the world if you have the right attitude and you go
Very
into
true.
a mature mindset. Because changing the world doesn't literally mean changing everything about the world. It means changing a small piece of the world that you're a part of. Because we all have
Yeah.
a sphere of influence in our lives. And if I could
Mm-hmm.
affect one person and they could affect another person, your influence is heard. You know, whether it's through social media or doing a video like this, or in the break room at work or at church, wherever you are, you have the power to change the world. But
Absolutely.
you really have to believe it and then live it and do it and be mature about it. Voice your opinion and and voice your gratitude, especially when people are there for you.
Wow. I just love it. I've never thought of it that way until you just said it now that expressing your feelings of gratitude shows your level of maturity. And it's so true because it shows that you understand some things better than people that are not aware of the fact that just expressing this gratitude to the other person makes them feel good and makes them know they're appreciated as well. Because many times we just assume that people know that we're thankful for them in our lives and the things they've done. And that's just not good enough. You know, we've been given a mouth for a reason, and we need to use that mouth
Right. And
to share
maturity
more.
leads, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, please.
Yes. No, I was just
Go
going to
ahead.
say, and maturity leads to leadership. So people say, I want to be a leader. You know, I don't,
Mm,
I want to lead. You want to lead? Lead by example. Lead
that's
not
right.
by feeling that you have power over someone. Lead by example that you're grateful. Try leading in a different way because you know many people have this leadership mindset that I'm a leader, I'm better than everyone. No, you better
Very
be
true.
the other way. Leadership means taking thoughts and ideas from others and then implementing them. You know, it's not being afraid to say no, like we talked about earlier. It's not
Yeah.
being afraid to say thank you. It's not being afraid to say I need help. That's a leader. Leaders aren't necessarily leaders have empathy. Leaders are non-judgmental. Those are good traits of a true leader.
Honestly, I'm like, anyone that hasn't read this book, Build the Best You, you need to go get it because there are like 44 different principles and actions that are included in the book. And there are some members of my community here that took part in I only did 21 days of it with them. And they were like, wow, it was life transforming for them. They've become a bit more conscious and mindful about certain things. And I'm like, look, someone even asked, oh, can we get the PDF? I was like, no, you can't get the PDF because you need to go buy the book, right? Because you needs to also be appreciated for the wisdom is shared. Above all, it's about knowing that, yes, it is possible. It's possible for us to become better. It's possible for us to share our influence, our greatness with the rest of the world. I love the fact that you said that when people ask the question, how can I change the world? It starts with us showing up. It starts with us recognizing what is within us that is a gift that we're supposed to be sharing with the rest of the world and say, I'm taking ownership of that. So I always use this show as an example that when I started 4 years ago, people were like, what on earth are you doing? And like, why do you keep showing up week in, week out, even if you don't have that many viewers? And I'm like, that's not why I do it. I don't care if it's four people, one person. I just know that if I go out there and share my message and help someone to be inspired and empowered or transformed in one way or the other, it has a ripple effect because that one person's life that is improved would act better towards their own family in their place of work and stuff. And that would also influence another person. So it goes on and on and on. So we all have the power to influence, and we should not shy away from using that power to be able to touch the lives of people in an indelible way. So thank you, thank you, thank you for that. I love it.
Yeah. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you that you stuck with it because these type of things, they're a lot of work. I mean, look at all the energy you put into this. Many people give up. And that's the other thing is that
That's true.
when you're going after your goals, when you're going after your dreams, where does that dream end? How do you know when you've reached it? How do you know when you're fulfilled? So to me, it's exactly what you're doing. You're living it. You are living your dream because
That's true.
what's important to you is not the number of people that show up. What's important to you is that you're having the conversation so that hopefully one person on the other end is listening, if not even yourself, to benefit from that conversation. That's all that matters. And,
Mm-hmm.
many of us get caught up in this vanity, metrics of how many likes and this and that. I'm in the same boat as you. I've been doing my show for almost 4 years, and people laugh at me, but that's okay because I'm living my dream. That's all
That's
that matters.
right. I agree. Live your dream. That's all that matters at the end. If you have connected with your purpose, do not listen to the naysayers and the scorners that are going to tell you, oh, you're trying to build a pipe dream, that you're not qualified and stuff like that, because that's what keeps many of us from being able to leap with faith, leap believing that even though the beginning might seem scary, might seem like you're in uncharted waters, I can guarantee you that there is so much joy and peace that will well up in your heart when you're doing the right thing. And you know that what you're doing will eventually make a huge difference and impact in someone's life. Don't be bothered about the numbers of the lives. Just do it knowing that at least one life, and just as you said, it could be my life that could be improved by just showing up and doing it. And that has been what has happened to me. By doing the show every single week, 50 weeks a year, I have become a better version of myself because I go back and listen to everything that is being shared by my guests and even the things I share because I'm very mindful to be able to tell people that sometimes when I'm speaking by the leading of the Holy Spirit. So I'm not even aware of those things I've said until I go back and watch the show and I'm like, wow, that was really proud. And I'm like, I need to note this down and work on it
Yeah.
because I have to live up to the things that I'm saying. That's leadership. Lead by example, walk the walk, not just talk the talk. So I have to put myself under that intention to say, you must compel yourself to do the things that you're sharing with other people, the things that your guests have come to share with you, because that's how we influence. That's how we tell people that I've tried it. Yes, it wasn't easy, but I've got the results to prove that it does work. So that is so key. So thank you so much, Roger. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I wish you could go on for another hour, but it's already 1 hour and 27 seconds. I'm just going to ask you the fun questions that I say I was going to ask you, and
Sure.
then we'll share your link with the people so that they can reach out to you, get a copy of the book. Please, can you show them the book so that they know that they can get a copy of the book? And also, Roger is going to give away 2 e-copies of this book. And I'm going to tell you how you get to qualify to get one. So thank you so much, Roger, for your generosity, because you've already given us so much value by being here. And now we also get to win a copy of your book. Oh,
My
yay!
pleasure.
Thank you. So, what is your favorite color?
Blue.
Okay. Favorite food?
Favorite food. I love good food. Wow. I have to say pasta with
Okay, good. I love pasta too.
yeah, we have so many different types of pastas because I come from an Italian family. So there's so many good pastas, but I love the variety. So every Sunday we typically have a different pasta, and that's something I look forward to.
Awesome. What's your favorite city in the world that you've been to?
Oh, that's easy. Assisi, Italy. Assisi.
Ooh, nice, nice. I like that. Okay, so now, if you were to transport yourself 10 years forward, what would you say to the 10 years older version of yourself?
Keep going. Don't stop. Don't stop.
I
I
like
really,
that.
I think life is a progression, and I'm 51 now, so I'll be 61. I don't want to stop at 61. I don't want to stop at 71. I don't want to stop at 81. My book writing coach is 82. I want to be like him.
Mm,
I want to be like him.
wow. Awesome. Awesome. So I know you've already written some books and we've been discussing elements from one of your books that you published. But if you were to write a new book today, what would the title be?
Well, I happen to be writing 2 books right now. So, and I have both titles. So I'm writing a novel. So I took on that task 8 years ago. I started writing a novel. The novel, the novel is my baby. That's my big project. So I have the manuscript over here. The working title right now is The Sacred Order. So it's very much like a Da Vinci Code. So there's a lot of
Oh,
history and there's art and religion and it's very mysterious, but it has a really good underlining message. So that's my novel I'm writing. And I'm also working, I always think about what's the next book I could write when it comes to personal development. And that book is, that title is, I have to think for a moment. It is Love Your Job, Crush Your Side Hustle. Love your job,
mm,
crush your side hustle. And the reason I'm
wow.
doing this is because I'm one of those guys that I work, okay, full time. I love my job, and that's okay. People say, well, you have to be an entrepreneur and do what you love all the time. Well, I love my job. I love the people that I work with. I like the people that I serve. I love the people I serve. So I want to keep staying in my job, but I
Mm-hmm,
also want to crush my side hustle and do really good at it so that I could have conversations like this and write books and do all the things that I love to do. So you could do both. So love your job, crush your side hustle.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, if I was to ask you, when you meet people, what is that one word you want them to take away from to say that, oh, Roger is this? What is the one word?
I want people to take away that More than anything, I'm genuine, authentic.
Wow. I believe that all my audience will agree with you. You've been genuine. And I think beyond that, I also think you're very, very sweet. You're so kind. You want to help people, and it translates even across the screen. I've never met you in person, but I can feel the authenticity and the honesty in which you've basically shared from your well of experience and also what brought about the inspiration to write the book. So I think you've done a great job in living to keep on showing up as your authentic self, and people feel your honesty and also your generosity in your spirit to always want to share and help others. So thank you so much for
Thank
that.
you.
Okay, so now you can give your pitch to people as to how they can reach out to you, how what you also do for a living. I know you help people to write their books as well. So here's your moment to talk a little bit about yourself. You're allowed to brag on yourself too.
Yeah, and I would say this. Look, my passion, one of my passions is writing. Right? So I love to write. Now, selfishly, I could just write all the time, and my novel would probably be done right now, and I'd be on to my next book. But I know there's a purpose or a reason to help other people write their book, because I know when I started, I needed help, and if I had someone like me there to coach me and help me, I'm sure it would have happened a lot quicker, and it would have went a lot smoother, and I would have saved a ton of time and money. So I love to help people write their first book, because like anything, there's a method to it. Everyone has their own
Yeah.
method, but I've been able to, thankfully, be able to teach people my method, and then they could write their first book. And to me, writing a book can open a lot of doors if you're doing it for the right reasons. And no matter what industry you're in, no matter what passion you have, we have a lot of knowledge inside of our minds that I feel
Mhm.
we need to get out into a book. So that's really one. I do a lot of different things, but that's the one thing I love and I'm passionate about, and that's helping people write their first book.
Awesome. So, what is your social media handle or website that people can go to if they want to reach out to you and actually get working with you?
Yeah, the easiest place to reach me is on LinkedIn, which is just search for Roger Brooks. You'll find me there.
Mhm.
And then my website is American Real, REAL.TV. You could contact me there. That's where we have all the episodes for the podcast. It's a video podcast, very much like this. And you could reach me at Roger at AmericanReal.tv. And I was going to say too that you can actually get the book for free all the time, and that's by just going to the landing page, and maybe we could put a link or something. But if you give me your email address, I'll put you on the list. So every day we drop another chapter from the book. It's really the whole chapter. So every day is one chapter. You receive that for 44 days. I don't
Mhm.
charge anything for that, because to me, it's, if people want to buy the book, great. It's not about the money. It's about getting the information out there to people. So just sign up for the
That's right.
44-day challenge, and you'll receive the book for free if you didn't win one of these two books.
Awesome. So it's American Real TV. Does it have .com, .co? What for the
AmericanReal.tv.
website?
AmericanReal.tv.
Okay, AmericanReal.tv. Okay. So people, I can tell you for a fact that I did sign up for that challenge, and that was how I got to read about the entire. Well, I've not reached day 44 yet, so I still have some days that. But Roger sends it every single day via email, and I sent it to him and said, I want to share this with my community, and he gave me the go ahead. And not many people will do that because they'll be like, oh, well, they need to sign up and be on my list. And it was like, no, go ahead and share it with the people on your community. So that shows you how generous he is of a person. So you can go to AmericanReal.tv and get the information. and also sign up for the 44-day challenge. I urge every single person to do this because it will be like you have a catalog of the entire 44 days. And also pass it along to someone else. You know, when they say pay it forward, pay Roger's generosity forward by being the best version of you, by actually taking action on all the things that he's sharing. That is the best gift you can give to Roger. And when you do something, send a message to him, write it, and give him the credit to say, based on what I learned from Roger Brooks and his book. Honestly, we might not think much of it, but it would do people that write books and share from the depth of their heart a lot of sense of fulfillment to know that what they're doing does make a difference. And someone out there in parts of the world they've never been to is being inspired by the words we speak and the words we actually write in our books. So I'm very sure Roger will
Oh
be
yeah,
very happy to know that
thank you.
Africa is being touched by him, even though he's never been to Africa.
I want to go. We have to plan it.
Yes, yeah, I told you it's a done deal. Now we're going to get you here, even if it's a virtual summit or whatever. We have to have the Roger Brooks event because many people are going to benefit from what you have to share. So I want you to just share one positive message with people out there. There are many people, as you know, that are struggling right now with the COVID devastating effects and stuff. So many people are really discouraged. Just share something to encourage somebody out there today.
Yeah, I would say, look, we talked about a lot of things today, but if someone is struggling right now, the best thing to do is to go into silence and to really think about what you're grateful for. Find
Mm,
something to be grateful for. It could be the cup that you're drinking your coffee out of. Think about something to be grateful for. Turn that into
mm,
greater positivity of your whatever your passion and purpose is, and then start thinking about that and going after it, because we all can get stuck, and it's okay. You know, it's not the end of the world, but we have to get unstuck. We have to find that way out, and
absolutely.
sometimes, you know, we're not going to have that person
That's
to
true.
pull us out, so we have to do it ourselves. So go in silence. Think about what you're grateful for, however you do that, whether you meditate or pray or whatever it may be. Then come out with a smile, because when you smile, that changes everything. And you
That's
can
true.
go into your next move, your next hour, your next minute with a whole different mindset.
Wow. Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that. If you're fretful, anxious, discouraged, disappointed right now, go into silence. Think about something to be grateful for and then smile because this because smiling changes everything. Honestly, I even learned that laughter takes it to a next level. So sometimes I start laughing and people will be like, what are you laughing for? I'm like, oh, you don't understand the science to my
Right.
madness. So there is a reason why I'm laughing because it just changes my entire disposition and
Yeah,
fills me up with a lot of endorphins. So you can smile, and then if you're crazy like me, you can laugh.
that's right.
And make yourself feel even better. And somehow you actually become contagious to others. And then they start laughing with you. Say, oh, I'm laughing at her. She's crazy. And then they start to feel better too. So it does work. It does work. So I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. We've been on season 4, episode 19 with Roger Brooks, all the way from New York, United States, where he's been talking to us about building the best you. And this has been cut from his book, Build the Best You, that is available on his website, AmericanReal.tv, or you can reach out to him directly on LinkedIn as Roger Brooks. When you see his picture with his then you can send him a message to connect with him. Want to write your own book? Reach out to him because he's a writing coach and he will help you get your first book out there in the world. So don't keep on procrastinating, reach out to Roger and he will help you to write your book. This has been absolutely riveting. It's been enlightening and it's organized and feel so much better. You guys can still hear me because my screen is freezing. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right. So till next week, well, we'll be back. This is February. So we are on a series that is all about self-love. Okay. So building the best you is the highest form of self-love you can give to yourself, because it's telling yourself that you matter and I am going to do what it takes to invest in you. And next week, we're going to be back with another guest where we're going to talk about why we all need love, because everybody needs love. Everybody needs to be loved and also show love. So look forward to being here with me again next time, GMT plus one time at 12 noon, and another cracking Monday. So take care of yourselves, be awesome, and remember that you're equal to all, inferior to none. You've got what it takes. Just take that leap of faith and go for it. Live your dreams and be the best you. So thank you so much from my guest, Roger Brooks, and I. We want to bid you a great afternoon. Take care and bye. Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.